Hello, this is wmpyr. Just want to share with you guys an experience that I had yesterday. Okay, so I was invited by a friend of mine who I'm not like super familiar with him, but he invited me to his role playing group. So including him and myself, there was the five of us. I don't know the rest of the crew. Never met them before. And the interesting thing was we played. Each one of us we were at our own homes, so we used the internet. In other words, and this is not something that I am super familiar with or I've done a lot of in my life. Maybe I've played role playing games like not video games, but just like actual role playing games. I would say. Like at the most a handful of times, so less than five times, so something like that. And it's been a long, long time since the last time I've played a role playing game. I'd say early '90s was maybe the last time, if I'm not mistaken. And okay, so obviously things have changed a lot since then. The game master, he said that he didn't have like a cam or a mic, so we played via like a texting, right, on some website that was specifically made for RPG players. Okay, so we used their like chatting interface, right? So we were all texting together, and that's how we played. Which for them was like, how do you call it? They called it old school because they normally, I guess, play via Skype or something like that. And for me, this was great because like I said, the last time I've done RPG stuff was like in the '90s, like when the internet was not really a common household thing. So you had to meet in person, and we did. We did meet in person. Mom had to like drive you and drop you off at someone's house. So that's how we played, and because of it, didn't get to play often. And that's why I didn't play a whole lot. And yeah, so coming from that, this is high tech. and so for me, like when I watch like the TV show like Stranger Things, I see that those kids play RPG Dungeons and Dragons together, and I feel like I kind of missed out on that. And so this is now my chance to experience that as an adult. So I was like, yeah, this is very cool. I'm all game. I'm ready for this. And we didn't play Dungeons and Dragons. The method or the system they used, they said, was based off of the Pathfinder stuff, which, from my understanding, is very similar to Dungeons and Dragons. And as I played it last night, it felt very similar. I can tell you that. I don't remember the details of Dungeons and Dragons, but it felt very similar. So the game master would type out stuff that would kind of like tell you what's going on, and we were all different characters. I was an inquisitor, and I had a twin. I was the only female of the group, which is a heck of a way to, I guess, get started in a way. But at the same time, when I play video games, for some reason, I choose a lot of times like the ones where it's open world and you could make your own character, like Skyrim or Fallout. I choose a female for some reason, and that's what I play. I don't know why. I just do. And it's not like I'm acting out some fantasy where I want to be a female. No, it's nothing like that. I'm just doing, I guess, something different from me. And it's not, once again, it's not some fantasy stuff, because the girl that I pick is always usually pretty freaking ugly, and she's not. I don't make her look sexy or anything like that. No, she's pretty, like I said, the face and all that. I try to make them usually quite hideous, and then the the outfits and stuff is just all about just being practical. What's effective, And so, yeah, I kind of like going against the expectations of, like these Playboy magazine or something like that. I enjoy that. So I don't know why. I just do that. So anyway, it's kind of interesting because like some people, you could tell they're very experienced. So when they're typing out stuff, when they're talking, they don't go out of character. They don't go to the game master. What was that again? They don't, what kind of info would I know at this point? Or, they don't do stuff like that. And then, and they're very strict with that. You can tell. And they, when they talk in character as well, or when they're typing the text, it's all in. And so they're also like I said, I was an inquisitor, and the other person was also inquisitor, and I was just trying to have fun. And for me, it's because I am a beginner at this kind of thing. I don't have much experience. It was hard for me to get into the character, So it's almost like, I don't know, if this was a Hollywood film, I would kind of need to. I should have given it more thought and think about what is my character. And I, obviously I couldn't really relate or anything. So I was just trying to have fun and be myself. So, I was doing things that my character probably would never in a million years do in that situation in real life. So, that could have, maybe turned some people off or whatnot. But, like I said, I was just trying to have fun and trying not to disrupt the game, but still contribute. So that's kind of also a fine line, because some people that, they come to play and they could just be like, okay, I just want to be a Satanist and I want to just murder everybody. And it's like, dude, you can't, you're ruining the game, and it's like, kick this person out. So, you don't want to be like that either. Definitely. But at the same time, I didn't want to just be like, just quiet the whole time and didn't do anything either, So I didn't want to participate. So, there's like a fine line. And so we were like a squad of kind of like a military squad. But, my weapon was, or most of the people, the weapons were like crossbows. I had a long sword. And yeah, we infiltrated a town. And we had to assassinate a person, and then, which we did. And as we assassinated that person, the story kind of like starts to unfold. And then at that point, we kind of had to stop because one person was sick. One person came in late, and people got busy and unexpected things occurred. So, so we were like, let's just call it quits for now. But we did get to play, for a solid amount of time. Maybe they wanted to go hours and hours and hours, but for someone like me who's a beginner, who's not used to this, it was a good amount of time. I got to experience. I got to do battle. I got to, it's like for every little thing that you do, you gotta roll the dice, and then you have a character sheet on the side, which was for me a PDF file, and then I would constantly refer to that. And then I would type in a command to roll dice. So many times it was a 20-sided dice, and that's all automatically done by the software, the program that we were on. And so it would be like, okay, so we're gonna climb. All right, so when I climb, you're supposed to go. Your climbing skills are this. In my case, climb wasn't there, so I just automatically assumed that maybe I'm not very good at climbing, but it had like swimming and other stuff. So I was like, maybe I'm good at that and other characters don't have that. So I just rolled the 20-sided dice by itself, and I didn't have any benefits because, like, let's say climb +7, then I would roll the 20-sided dice, and then I would, whatever I got, you could add a +7 to that, something like that. So and that all depends on, like, my stealth was +8, I think. So I rolled the 20-sided dice, and then I could add a +8 to that. So with climb, I didn't give myself any bonuses, but I should have, because my acrobatic level was high. So I could have added that, but I didn't. It's just as you play, you get to learn more and more, and so I just put that as part of my character. And they're like, okay, so we're gonna climb up to the rooftop, and then my character would be like, "Oh man, I gotta climb again," you know. So I would throw that in there, and people got that. They're like, "Okay, so your character sucks at climbing," so it adds a dimension to the character, you know. So that's kind of how we played, and then it's also like the game master's watching us and is of course giving us hints and steering us in a way towards the story, but at the same time the game master doesn't want us to be stupid either, you know. So for us to be like, okay, maybe right now it would be a good time to go look for some horses so that we could go steal some horses so that we could get to the next destination faster, you know, so something like that, you know. The game master, a good game master, would be open to stuff like that, even though in the story that wasn't mentioned. You know what I mean? So these are the kinds of things that come into play, and yeah, it brought back lots of memories, and it was fun. The thing was on the program, the software that we were using online, it had like a grid, and it had character placement and stuff, and we didn't really do that. It really didn't come into play. And then mine, for some reason, all the tokens where the characters would be placed on the map, they were all the same color, so I couldn't tell other than myself, because for me it had my name on there, Inquisitor so and so, but we were all the same color, and the rest I didn't see any names, so it was just all blue, and I was like, I don't know who's who. So it was a good thing that we didn't do that. But I guess in an actual game or like on a tabletop RPG, you would have the map and you would have tokens, and so like when you're doing battle and stuff, that would come into play. So okay, if the dragon's gonna breathe fire, it's breathing fire on so and so, and this other person would be out of range, so you're okay, or those kinds of, or you're behind this person, so you don't take as much of the full direct hit, or things like that can come into play. So anyway, it was an interesting experience. I had fun. Looking forward to doing it again, and just wanted to share my experience with you guys. So thank you for listening, and take care, folks.